Now let us consider application part of potentiometer. Already in previous video we consider working principle of potentiometer, which states that the potential difference between any 2 points of uniform wire is directly proportional to length of wire between these 2 points. And now based upon this principle, we are going to consider construction and working to understand two important applications. Number first, comparison of EMF of two given cells, and number two, to determine internal resistance of the given cell. So let us consider first of all comparison of electromotive forces or EMFs of two given cells. You just imagine two cells are given whose EMFs is to be compared. What do you mean by compare? To find ratio. Suppose E1 be the EMF of first cell and E2 be the EMF of second cell. If we compare them, means if we find this ratio, and if ratio comes out suppose K, then by knowing EMF of one cell, also we can determine EMF of another cell. So indirectly this is one more application, that is to determine EMF of a given cell. So once we compare EMF, then by knowing EMF of one cell, we can calculate EMF of another cell. So let us start with, first of all, comparison of EMF by using first method called as an individual method. There are two methods. One is individual and second one is sum and difference method. Both methods we are going to discuss. So first of all, we are going to consider individual method. What do you mean by individual method? In which we are going to consider two cells across that potentiometer separately, individually. Hence name is given as an individual method. Now let us consider first of all construction part of this potentiometer to understand comparison of EMF of two given cells. As per principle, potential difference or voltage between 2 points of uniform wire. Listen me carefully, uniform wire. So in construction, potentiometer consists of a thin uniform copper wire of several meter in length. See here in this diagram, in this circuit diagram, AB is nothing but a thin uniform copper wire. Generally copper wire is preferred because its conductivity is good, and that's why generally in all electrical and electronic experiments we are going to consider copper wire as a connecting wire. Now here, if we use this wire in a continuous fashion, space required will be greater. You just imagine 4 meter length will be required. Now just to minimize the size of this device, that entire length it is divided in 1 meter segment. You just imagine here, this is 1 meter portion, this is second 1 meter portion, this is third 1 meter portion, and this is fourth 1 meter portion. And now again these four parts connected together by using thick L-shaped copper strips. As these copper strips are made thick, thick means area increases. Area increases, we know that resistance is inversely proportional to area, therefore resistance decreases. As resistance decreases, conductivity sigma is very high. So just to increase conductivity, these copper strips used, these are very thick. Actually in construction there is a rectangular wooden plate, and on this rectangular wooden plate these are four copper wires, 1 meter, then this 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. Here first L copper strip, second L strip, first linear copper strip, second linear copper strip, and this third linear copper strip. So these are the copper strips shown in this figure. This is actual experimental arrangement. Theoretically it is not necessary to show these copper strips. Even you can eliminate them and you can directly show this circuit. Just imagine this is a thin uniform copper wire AB. So this is one of the important part in construction. Potentiometer in construction consists of a thin uniform copper wire several meter in length. Only for the sake of simplicity we are going to consider 4 meter potentiometer here. Now in order to pass electric current through this potentiometer wire, a battery having sufficiently high EMF. See here, positive terminal is connected to A point, negative terminal via a key and rheostat are connected to another terminal of this wire. So this is the entire construction, very simple construction. This black color diagram, this is nothing but construction of potentiometer. It consists of thin uniform copper wire AB, one main battery called as a driving battery. This is a key and this is a rheostat. Key is used to start or stop electrical current, and rheostat just to control the current drawn from this battery. Now this is nothing but entire construction part. Now working is very simple. See here, when this key is closed, what will happen? Current will be drawn from this main battery. Now this current, I ampere, it will enter at the junction A. It will flow through each and every length of this potentiometer wire, and no doubt it work on the principle that once again this entire current is received to negative terminal, and it work on the principle that V is directly proportional to L. So this is about construction and working. Once again listen me. In construction, thin uniform copper wire AB, main battery, key and rheostat in series. This is construction. In working, when key is closed, current is drawn. It will flow through each and every part of this wire and work on the principle V proportional to L. But now we are going to consider working with application. We have to consider comparison of EMF of two given cells. So we are going to discuss here first method, which already I tell you, that is individual method. Individual method, or also called as a separate method. This is the first method. Suppose number 1, individual, or also called as a separate method. In this method, two given cells are connected across this circuit or potentiometer individually or separately. You just imagine, first of all, a given cell of EMF E1 is connected with this potentiometer. Now this is very important precaution to be taken. Positive terminal of given cell, this is a given cell of EMF E1, this positive terminal must be connected to that point to which positive terminal of main battery is connected. See here, this is main battery whose positive terminal is connected to A. So to the same point, positive terminal of this cell must be connected. This precaution is must while performing experiment, otherwise balance point will not be obtained. Now negative terminal, see here, via this key K1, it is connected to one terminal of a galvanometer. Already we discussed galvanometer is a device which works on the principle that current flowing through is directly proportional to theta. What is use of this galvanometer? Just to detect the flow of current. If current exists, pointer shows deflection. No current, no deflection. Only to detect the current, this is the application of galvanometer. Now, second terminal of this galvanometer, see here, it is connected to a sliding key or also called as a jockey. It is connected to a sliding key or also called as a jockey. You just imagine, this is a sliding key or also called as a jockey chain. Now this is second cell shown. This is key K2. Now it is kept open. When key K2 is open, see here, second cell of EMF E2 is also connected in similar fashion. Positive terminal is connected to same point to which positive of main battery is connected. Negative terminal, it is connected to key K2. Now key K2 is open. Only key K1 is closed. Now you tell me, when key K1 is closed, first of all K is closed, current will be drawn. It will flow through each and every part of this potentiometer wire. Means potentiometer circuit will be working now. I ampere with the current flowing. Is it clear now? Okay. Now till jockey is not touched means this circuit is open. Key K2 is open means no current is drawn from this cell. This jockey is not touched to wire. It means that no current is drawn from this cell. Now just imagine, key K1 is closed here. As soon as key K1 is closed, and now start sliding jockey along the length of this potentiometer wire. Now as soon as jockey will be touched anywhere on this potentiometer wire, 100% this circuit will be completed. Second circuit called as the external circuit. This is potentiometer circuit, black color circuit, and this blue color circuit is external given cell circuit. So as soon as jockey will be touched, 100% certain current will be drawn. Let that current be I dash. Now this I dash, it will be received at this junction. Both I plus I dash combinedly flows through this wire. And suppose now while sliding the jockey, somewhere we got a point P. Suppose this is the position of point P for which this galvanometer shows zero deflection. Galvanometer shows zero deflection. What it implies? No current flows through this galvanometer. As no current flows through galvanometer, we can say that this potentiometer is balanced. You tell me, no current flows through galvanometer. What it implies? No current flows through galvanometer means no current is returned to negative terminal. And general rule is that whatever current is drawn from positive, same current is returned to negative. As no current is returned here means I dash is 0, it means that no current is drawn. Still connections are made. See here, positive terminal is connected to it, negative terminal via this galvanometer and jockey touch to this potentiometer wire. So this second part of circuit is also completed. But till current is not flowing through this circuit, means it acts as an open circuit. It acts as a open circuit. And this is the advantageous point of this potentiometer circuit. Till connections are made, no current is drawn. Why no current is drawn? Because entire voltage between these 2 points, between which 2 points? A and P. Listen me. Voltage between point A and P here. Which voltage? Given by main battery. Because current drawn from main battery, it is continue to flow through this circuit. Listen me. I dash is 0. It doesn't mean that I is 0. I is working. It is drawn. It is flowing through this circuit. But it will not return from this side because this acts as an open circuit. It means that voltage between these 2 points will balance entire EMF between these 2 terminals of the cell. Now voltage of 2 terminals of this cell is nothing but EMF of first cell, and that is nothing but E1. Because no current is drawn. As no current is drawn, what it implies? Yes, no current is drawn means circuit is open. Hence total EMF is available between these 2 points, which is balanced by this voltage. But according to Ohm's law, means simply we can write here EMF of this cell E1 is equal to voltage between point A and P. But according to Ohm's law, VAP is nothing but I into RAP. But we know that if sigma be the resistance per unit length, then RAP can be written as sigma into length of wire between these 2 points. Already we discussed in previous video. So length between point A and P. If length AP, if we take symbol as L1, then we can write RAP is equal to sigma L1. And therefore EMF of first cell E1 can be written as I sigma L1. Equation number first, very important part. Is it clear now? So this is about yes, measurement of EMF of first given cell. E1 is equal to I sigma L1. Actually this I sigma product, it is also called as potential gradient. It is also called as a potential gradient, G-R-A-D-I-A-N-T, gradient. It is denoted with symbol K, and no doubt this potential gradient K is equal to VAB divided by LAB. This is also equal to, yes, I sigma. So here I sigma, this potential gradient, can be replaced with symbol K, and hence we can write here EMF of given cell E1 is equal to also I sigma L1, or you may write as KL1. This is equation number first now. Now potential gradient SI unit as per formula, it will be volt per meter. It will be volt per meter. So this is EMF of first given cell. E1 is equal to I sigma L1 or equal to KL1. Now in similar manner, you have to repeat this experiment with, yes, key K1 open and K2 close. Now see here, when key K2 is closed, yes, what will happen? Current will be drawn from this cell of EMF E2. This current will be received at this junction. So both current combined together, I plus I dash, both will flow through this part. And now just start sliding the jockey over total length and obtain somewhere a point Q, for which this galvanometer again shows zero deflection. Galvanometer shows zero deflection. What it implies? Current through galvanometer is zero. Means no current is returned to negative. Means no current is drawn from positive. It means that this circuit acts as a open circuit. So like previous case, again here I assume length of wire between point A and Q is equal to L2. Therefore you can write here E2 is equal to VAQ, like previous case. Means EMF of this cell is balanced by voltage between these 2 points A and Q. Hence E2 is equal to VAQ. But according to Ohm's law, this is I into RAQ. And therefore we can write E2 is equal to, yes, I. RAQ in similar manner we can write as a sigma L2, or I sigma, this product can be replaced as potential gradient. So this is K into L2, equation number 2. Now this is a very simple discussion. This is individual or separate method. In first case we consider first cell of EMF E1, we obtain balance point, and that balance point is nothing but P. See here. Once that P point is obtained, we measure balancing length LAP is equal to L1. Then according to law of conservation of energy, this entire EMF of first cell, it is balanced between point A and P. So that is E1 equal to VAP, that is equal to I sigma L1 equal to KL1. Now similarly, now open this key and close second key, so that second cell will be connected. Repeat the same procedure. Just go on sliding jockey or total length and somewhere obtain point Q, such that length AQ is equal to L2, so that we can say that EMF of second cell is balanced between point A and Q. So E2 is equal to VAQ is equal to IRAQ. Hence we got this second equation. Now once these two equations are obtained, I don't think there is any difficulty Now we will get comparison of EMF. Yes, dividing equation first by second means E1 upon E2 is equal to I sigma L1 divided by I sigma L2. So I sigma get cancelled, or you may consider second form, that is KL1 divided by KL2. So here also K cancel, and hence E1 upon E2 is equal to L1 upon L2. This is nothing but comparison of EMF of two given cells by using individual or separate method. Once we measure this balancing length, then we can compare EMF. Or in case EMF of one of the cell is given, suppose E2 is given, then this unknown EMF can also be calculated. Hence, indirectly it covers two applications. Number first, comparison of EMF of two given cell. Otherwise, determination of EMF of given cell. Is it clear? This is the first method which we discuss for comparison of EMF. That is individual or separate method. But one more method is there called as a sum and difference method, which we are going to consider in next video. Okay, thank you.